Hey yo, what is up? I've got three pieces of news for you today. Two very normal news and one super exciting news, which I will save towards the end of the video. The first news is, of course, the new tank that we have right here in front of us right now. And the second piece of news is some changes to the map. But first, let's take a look at the new premium tier 8 that's in Supertest, the WZ-114. So I suppose we're going to have a series of tanks that are going to follow this line, maybe a 115 and a 116 sometime in the near future. But basically you are looking at a heavy tank from the Chinese line, and we will talk a little bit about the stats and its projected performance stats, I suppose. This is what it looks like, kind of cool looking. The hull kind of reminds me of the WZ-114 with the flaps on the side. I think even the TM-122 has these kind of flaps, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, 1800 hit points and 700 horsepower. This thing is pretty heavy, 70 tons, yeah, the power to weight ratio is pretty low, 10.71, which means this thing is going to be pretty heavy and pretty slow, in my opinion. The maximum speed forward is 30 kilometers going forward, 10 kilometers going backwards. The rotation speed or the hull traverse speed is 21.9 degrees. You are looking at a it's actually kind of like a super heavy instead of a heavy. I'm expecting this to have some kind of amazing armor because of its super slow speed. What we have is 125 millimeters of hull armor frontally, so frontally and sloped at 125. Let's take a look at it from the front. 125 frontally and sloped. So yeah, that's what we have. And we have a 300 millimeter frontal turret. This turret is thick and 300 meters and sloped. So don't expect to pan it when it's hull down. Suppose it's going to be some kind of hull down monster or something. It has a 122 millimeter gun that does 360 damage, 208 penetration on standard shells and 270 on the premium shells. Not exactly the highest kind of penetration, but in tier 8 it is no problem. 11.51 reload time. This means you're going to be able to get this down to like 10 seconds reload time, and the dispersion is 0.32. This is pretty good dispersion. This means you can get this dispersion down to something like a Tiger 2, you know. 2829 dispersion is not going to be uncommon. You're going to have a fairly accurate gun, which in a heavy tank that is super slow. The aim time, however, is pretty dismal. 3.45 seconds aim time. You're aiming like some kind of tank destroyer or something like that. Even worse aim time than a Scorpion, if I'm not mistaken. But it does have 10 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of gun elevation. Carries 55 ammo. It has a 4-person crew, terrible camo, and yeah, that's all I have to say about the new tank. Of course, this is still the early stats. You are talking about Supertest, so you have to assume that stats will change later on. I'm assuming that the mobility is pretty bad, and I think they will buff it at some point. But let's move on to our next piece of news, which is also kind of important. Before our last piece of news, which is going to be super important. Okay, the change in maps. Erlenberg, this is encounter mode. As you can see, the cap circle in the middle. Yeah, they've added they've demolished this building. Maybe they want to make it a little bit easier for you to reset the base if you're hiding behind this cap circle here. I am assuming that is the idea there. And also And also if you're sniping from a distance, you know, from the middle of the map and sniping into the hills on the, is that the east side? And well, anyway, to the hills over that side. So basically they've added more cover for the middle part so that those guys can't snipe you and you can't snipe those guys in the hill. So those are the changes in Erlenberg. Also some rubble in the middle of the map where the bridge is. It says the only thing it says here, position comfort increased. So I'm assuming there is a little bit more, they added more rubble here to give you a little bit more cover from this side, I suppose, so you can hull down in this position. I'm assuming this, of course. I could be talking out of my ass, but yeah, that's what it seems to be. Looks like there's more rubble here in the middle of the road as well to provide you with a little bit more cover. Either you're attacking or defending, you're going to be able to hide behind this rubble slightly. So just some minor changes in Erlenberg. The next changes is Siegfried Line. Siegfried Line, some changes near the castle where the this position is a point of contention. A lot of people like it the way it is right now. There's position 3 and position 2 where you climb up and hide behind some rubble. If you're a good player, you can really make use of this position the way it currently is now. But I know a lot of people get owned here all the time, especially if you're not familiar with this map. If you're a new player, or you know, if you don't play this game a lot, you can get yourself owned very easily in this position. And I'll show you what they've made the changes here. They've added a bunker on this part of the map so that you can probably hide and defend yourself fighting this side. So this is what it looks like now. This is what it looks like, going to look like in the future. Going to be have an access ramp right here, and you can hide from here. So there's going to be some battles going this way, and this is what it looks like right now. This is the proposed changes. So basically, you no longer have to drive up here and crawl up behind here. There's going to be a hull down position for you to climb up. This access as well has been they've made this road a little bit bigger, and this is what the changes is like in the castle area as well. So this is what it looks like. You know, you can get yourself stuck here with a lot of the terrain, and then your gun does not have the depression to fight the guys over here. You can get yourself easily killed here if you're inexperienced in this position. But they're going to make the road a little bit wider, easily accessible for both sides to fight each other. So that's the new changes, and a little bit more changes in the city. I suppose they've removed, they've added some rubble in the middle of the map, as well as moving a little bit of the trees. So those are the changes. They've also decided to move the cap circle in the attack defense position. So they've moved it so that you have a little bit more protection, and also they've moved the spawn position of the defense team. So this gives the attacking team more opportunity to get down the south side, perhaps. Yeah, I think this is an advantage to the attacking team, so that they can push up easier and make the defending team a lot more difficult to get into their opening positions. So this is an advantage to the attacking team. Now, I told you about the last bit of news that I have for you, which is super interesting, and I think you didn't even notice it when you first started watching today's video, and this is what I am super interested about. You see this logo here next to the player's name. This is actually the World of Tanks Plus badge, the one that was only available on the Chinese server. Looks like This is coming soon to the RU, EU, NA, and SEA server. This is a Watt Plus logo. I know for a fact that this account is on EU or RU server, the test servers. So this is a Watt Plus or Watt ultra premium account, you might say. So is this what they are planning for the rest of us? Maybe this is a rental, WZ-114 rental for the Watt Plus account, just like what they have on the Chinese server. So that is the last bit of news I have for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.